Welcome back to Cash Kicks TV. Today we're back with a new video, and it's a video I've been trying to get out for a week, but as you guys might be able to tell a little bit, I've been having a little bit of allergies and my eye was swollen for the past couple of days, so I really didn't want to be on camera, but I realized the grind has to continue, so no matter what, we gotta get this video out to show your appreciation for me still working through this allergy season and just swollen eyes. Hit that subscribe button, help me grow this channel, support your boy, Cash Kicks TV. Let's get straight into the video. Now, obviously you guys can tell by the title, these are 5 sneakers or 5 types of sneakers you have to start your collection or to build that collection, build the right foundation for your collection. So let's go straight into the 5. The first one I'm going to be talking about is the beater. Now, of course, your beater is very, very important because it's your shoe that you're going to wear a lot. So the first thing, you're going to make sure that shoe isn't too expensive and it's replaceable because you're going to have to buy that shoe over and over again, mainly because it's your beater. It's going to be your everyday use. When I think of a beater, I think of the classic Vans or an Air Force because, of course, when it comes to price, it is a low. And also, it's a perfect everyday shoe. It still looks good. So when you do leave the house and you're wearing that shoe consistently, you can still have a nice shoe on your hand that looks presentable. A shoe on your hand. A shoe on your feet. You don't wear shoes on your hands. But a shoe on your feet that still looks presentable. And you can still feel that, you know, you got a little bit of heat on your foot at the same time. That's definitely what I use for my beater, which would be an Air Force. So I just want to give you guys an example. It's something like this. This is something here that I would use as my beater, just the Air Force Ones. I think this is a typical beater for most people. While it's the plain Air Force Ones, the white ones, plain black, doesn't really matter. It'll get the job done. And then, of course, Vans. You can't really go wrong with Vans. There's so many different colorways nowadays, so you can always use that as your beater. I think the more common one is Air Forces, but definitely Vans can go with it as well. You need to have a beater in your collection. You cannot ruin all your top shoes. You have to have something that is cheap and gets the job done for you. So make sure in your collection, when you're going through a tally on the 5 types I have in this video, that the beater should be easy check mark for you. That's the first type of shoe you should have in your collection, is the beater. Let's get into number 2. Number 2 is now gonna be the sleeper. Now the sleeper, to me, I can't give you guys an example because a sleeper based on you. A sleeper is a shoe that you feel people are sleeping on or don't like that you think is fire. So it's gonna vary for every single person. I'm gonna show you what mine is, and for me, it's definitely gonna be this Yeezy 700, the mauve colorway. A lot of people did not like this shoe and called it garbage. This just reminds me of the nice chocolate. I know it's a whole different shoe, but if you know the Yeezy 900s, or is it the 950s? I believe it's the 950s, the boot. There's a chocolate colorway. That's what this brown reminds me of. So I had to get it, and I really like the little lime on the side. It's something that you can have on your sweater. You can wear that color, and it's really gonna pop out on the shoe after that. Easy way to match right there. I feel that this is a big sleeper. A lot of people slept on these. They're on GOAT right now, and the price is plummeted down. So I think people should really consider these, especially now that you can get them for a lot cheaper than when they came out for. These look really good on foot, man. Like, these are a type of shoe that you may think, just looking at it, it's not the best looking shoe, but when you put it on your foot and have a nice little outfit, definitely a shoe that really pops out. So that would be my sleeper. Remember why it's important to have a sleeper, man. You got to have a mind for your own on this sneaker game, man. You can't just be liking what other people like. You won't even really be liking what you wear or feel comfortable. You got to find shoes that you like, and that's part of the best part about being a sneakerhead, is just, you know, liking different things than other people and making those things that people think are whack look good. And it feels good when someone says, whoa, like, those are better than I thought. And you're like, I know, like, I already knew. You late. So that there is my sleeper for sure. Let's get into number 3. Now, the third type of shoe you need to have to start your collection is a designer shoe. Now, I know what you're saying. Designer shoes are not cheap. But let me tell you why it may be good to invest and to have a designer sneaker in your collection. Now, I'm not going to necessarily say it's a sneaker. There's all different types of designer shoes. But the reason why I think it's good to have in your collection is because it's always good to have some wealth in your collection, have some value in your collection, right? There's going to be times when you go out and that occasion you might want to look a little bit more, I'm not going to say wealthier, but you want your outfit to, stand out a little bit, and you want to look a little bit more presentable, look good. And that's where the designer shoe really helps, man. Like, for me, I love wearing plain clothes and then popping that designer shoe, and it makes my outfit pop out a little bit more. Even if I'm wearing something as light as a Nike Tech Fleece tracksuit and then boom, I'm wearing some Gucci shoes. That is right there will give you an example of one designer thing I'm thinking about, like kind of like the Gucci shoes. Like, there's a bunch of different designer shoes you can go into. The one that I'm going to show you my collection, obviously you guys know, is just the Balenciaga. This is my type of designer shoe that I use for my collection. I'm definitely looking to get into more designer, but because of this whole COVID thing, it just killed my vibe on, even though things are starting to open up, like it just kills my vibe on the whole shopping thing. And online, for me, shopping is just not the same when I'm spending a certain amount of money. If I'm spending over $1,000, I'd rather get that item a lot faster, a lot sooner. With COVID, the shipping is all over the place. So when I spend a lot of money, I want that shoe ASAP. So that's why I haven't really went out and got a new designer shoe. But with things getting back to normal, you'll see more designer enter my collection for sure. Don't get me wrong. Your designer shoe doesn't have to be $1,000. It doesn't even need to necessarily be designer. Just have that shoe that has that different look where you kind of just are not in that sneaker category. It looks more designer. Here's another shoe that I have that's a lot cheaper actually, is the CDG Converse collab. This is considered designer. It's really cheap. These are like $200. It just gives you that different vibe of a sneaker. And if you're going to a place where you need to be a little bit more casual than just throwing on a little more sneakers or business casual, then this is something that would definitely work. So that's where the designer really comes in. Is when you're going to events where you don't want to just be wearing sneakers. You want to be wearing something that's a little bit more business casual. All right. So that's my number 3. Apologize for my allergies again. Let's get into number 4. And number 4 is my favorite. It is the Hype. Now, the Hype to me is obviously a shoe or a sneaker that's worth a lot. But not only worth a lot, it has big resale value. And when I think of shoes like that, I think of the Travis Scott ones. I think of the Unions. Let's go with the Travis Scott ones for our main one. Mainly because that shoe we knew right away is going to have crazy resale value. And of course it does, man. It's when you have that shoe, you are the hype beast. Anyone that's around you, you're that hype beast, because more times the Travis Scott ones isn't really the best looking one, but because it's Travis Scott, it has that upside down Nike sign. Everybody loves it. So there you go. You love that shoe. Put yourself in that hype beast category right there. Nothing wrong with that at all. We all want to wear hype things, but I'm going to put you in that category as a hype beast. So you definitely need something like this in your collection, because there's that time where you just want to show people that, you have the hype as well. You have the beaters. You have everything in your collection. You know what is hype, so you get the correct hype shoe, and that is something that has a lot of resale value. So for me, what I use, you guys should know by now, is my Off-White 5s. This is my hyped version shoe in my collection. So if I want to be a hype beast one day or feel hyped, this is what I would throw on. This is number 4, and I think other than the beaters, this is the second most important to have in your collection. You need the beater and you need the hype. Especially right now, man, hype is what is in. And let's get you in to the last one, number 5, and it is the Classic. Now, Air Force Ones kind of go into this Classic as well. I'm going to say that to start it off. But when I think of Classic, the first shoe I think about is that first 1985 Jordan 1 Bred that dropped, man. That's the first thing I think of Classic. That's my version of Classic. Classic to me means that you know your history, you know a little bit more about sneakers. You're not one of these new people in the game that only value hype or what's new. You know your history. For me, first thing I think of, like I told you guys, was the Jordan 1 1985. Of course, this isn't the 1985. This is the 2016. But this would be like my Classic, the Jordan 1 Bred. You can't go wrong when it comes to Classic with this shoe. So this is definitely my classic. I'm not going to go too much into that. You need to have a classic in your collection where, like I said, you don't want to look like you're a newcomer to this game. You've been in this game. Boom. You got to have your classic, man. Whether it's these ones or, like I said, the Air Force One. That's another classic right there. You got to have those in your collection for sure. So that is it. Those are the 5 types of sneakers that I think you need to have to start your collection or to build a great foundation in your collection. Let me know in the comments section if you have all 5. That is big if you have all 5. You're definitely going in the right direction. Of course, you guys know I am Cash Kicks TV. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're trying to grow this channel to 1,500 subscriptions by the end of June. We are 20 away, so please help me get there. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit it with a like. And that's it. That's all I got to tell you guys today. Be ready for my next video. Should be coming out real soon. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. Cash Kicks TV, I'm out.